What role do you think Donald Trump played in last night's election results? This morning, the former president was on a conservative radio and said, he was responsible for the win. He took credit for the win in Virginia. But Youngkin kept Donald Trump at arm's length and focused on policy and not on Donald Trump. So, what's your assessment of the role that Trump played, if any?
My first was, I guess I can't be surprised the morning after Republicans win across the nation, the media wants to try to find division. I watched a Republican Party more united, more people joining it, based upon policy. Policy matters. And I think when you saw the last 10 months, the policy of the Democrats, I think people were open to trying to find something much better. And they've had that experience under a Republican majority and with President Trump in there. But I don't think after winning all these races, that's the question that would come before us. I think that's just another political ploy. Yeah.
Senator McCarthy, I know that you're saying that it's about the policy, but it's also about who's
So a
talking.
second question about Trump.
Well, it's about who's talking about the policy,
Okay.
and he wasn't there in Virginia talking about it. So is it a sign that he's not essential for Republicans to win? You don't necessarily need him to have a successful night.
I don't know. Have you ever run for office?
No.
Okay, so your question is about Trump after we just held an election where inflation is higher than we've ever been apart. We have a president that shuts down a pipeline with American jobs losing more than 1 million, but allows Putin to produce 1. Where Putin is now bringing his own military to the border of Ukraine. We watched this president change by executive orders the border, where we're insecure, or the security is gone. We've watched parents come to school board meetings craving to have input. A father getting arrested when his daughter was molested in a bathroom. We watched Republican after Republican, one who only spent $200 to take down a sitting president of the Senate. This is about policy. This is about a united party. This isn't about division. And I don't agree with your question to start out with. I mean, to me, if there's anything the press should learn, you should learn from Terry McAuliffe. All he talked about was Trump as well.
McCarthy, you say that policy matters, yet most of the things that you have talked about and your colleagues here have been about devolution, importance of local school boards, the DMV. So what does that have to do with Washington? How can Washington Republicans champion these things if what you're talking about are things at the local level, which is what you're...
All politics are local, but who was in Washington defending the parents? Who was in Washington questioning the Attorney General? Who was in Washington asking him to rescind going after the parents when we found out it was one letter from one organization, and they actually apologized after that hearing? Who has been in Washington saying don't defund the police? Who's been offering the legislation? So yeah, it's local politics, but you know what? We're all elected locally. So we bring those policies here because we listen to our constituents. There is a contrast between Republicans and Democrats. There is a difference of belief. And I think that displayed pretty greatly in the election last night. Yes?